After 20 years of bodybuilding and coaching clients, I'm going to show you the exact training split that's helped me and my clients build some impressive physiques. It's a perfect way to hit everything to stimulate it to grow, but also give your body enough time to rest and recover. First up, on Monday, we have our first leg day of the week. So this is going to be the leg day where we do a lot of our heavy squatting patterns, our leg presses, hack squat, stuff like that. So I always like to start off with the adductor. I think everybody should be hitting this muscle because it gives your leg just a great overall look to it. So don't skip your adductors. Next, we're going to move into the lying leg curl. I like to do leg curls early in this workout just to make sure I don't do all my other squatting, leg pressing, stuff like that, and then have leg curls last and don't put any effort to them. Plus, this is going to just further warm us up and get ready for our heavy squatting pattern. So after that, we're moving into leg extension. Want to make sure we don't cheat these. We're not picking heavy weight. We're trying to really focus on getting a good squeeze, coming down slow and controlled. Again, just getting those quads ready for what's coming. After that, we're moving into the bread and butter movements. We got the hack squat. We want to work these generally in the 10 to 15 rep range, picking good weight, coming down slow and controlled. And the key here is to also get, as you say, ass to grass, getting your hips below parallel, really trying to get a stretch on those quads to emphasize them to grow. After that, we're moving into the leg press. Almost the same thing we do with hack squat. We're just trying to work good weight for 10, 15, maybe even 20 reps. Just again, emphasizing letting that weight come down slow before we drive it back up. We're gonna end this leg day with some RDLs. We're just gonna give some love to the hamstrings and glutes to finish off this leg day. Lastly, we gotta make sure we do our calves. You don't wanna have chicken legs at the bottom, so finish with some form of standing, seated, machine calf raise, just emphasizing a good slow stretch and coming up on that tiptoe. Don't cheat your calf raises. After that, what I consider the hardest workout of the week is done, your leg day. So you got a fully well-rounded leg day there. You got the adductors, the hamstrings, quads, a little bit of glutes, but you're mainly trying to trash those quads because we're gonna come back later in the week and hit those hamstrings and glutes a little harder, so we wanna make sure we really thrash the quads here because they're not gonna get a lot of work later in the week. Tuesday, we have our first appearance of the push-pull leg theme. So we're gonna work pull here. We're gonna do about 18 sets of back, about 4 to 5 sets of rear delts, and about 3 to 4 sets of biceps. We're gonna start the back day off with doing some kind of pullover motion. I like to do the cable version because it really lets me focus on driving those elbows down and back. That's what your lats are designed to do, is to push your arms down and back past your body. So I'm always gonna pick a cable version here. Next, we're gonna move into some kind of pull down version or variation. Again, something that's gonna allow you to get a good elbow drive towards your hip. We got the single arm version, you got good old wide grip pull downs, just some pull down that you connect with and I can actually feel your lats working. Then we're gonna move into a low row, and you got tons of variations you can do here. You got seated cable row, you got dumbbell row. My gym's lucky enough that I have hammer strength rows. Just again, same as the pull down, pick something you connect well with, focus on driving those elbows towards your hips. Next, we're gonna move into a high row variation. What this is gonna do is work your upper back. Since we pretty much already trashed your lats with low rowing, the pullovers and pull downs, now we gotta work into that upper back. So pick any variation that's gonna allow you to kind of bring those elbows into 45 degrees. So we don't want our elbows tucked by our side, and we also don't want them flared all the way out at 90. We want them somewhere in the middle. We can really get good contractions on those rhomboids, traps, all that good stuff through the middle. Next, we're gonna finish off with doing a low back and trap superset. So I like to do reverse hypers here, but you can also do hyper extensions, whatever you feel best in that lower back. We just wanna make sure we're emphasizing doing body weight and getting good contractions, because we're gonna come back later in the week and we're really gonna trash that lower back with some heavy weight. So just body weight, good solid contraction on that lower back. And then for shrugs, I've been doing a lot of Kelso shrugs lately, but just know that you can do any variation of shrugs, just making sure we're driving those shoulders toward our ears and getting good contractions on those traps. Now that your back's done, we're gonna start moving outside of our body. So we're gonna work from the outside in. So we're gonna go to the rear delts. And for this, I like to do a superset of 2 exercises back to back. So pick any 2 rear delt exercises you like. I've been doing a lot of chest supported rear delt fly, a lot of cable pull aparts. Just pick 2 exercises, work them back to back for about 10 to 15 reps each, and just doing 2 sets of that before we move into biceps. All we're doing for biceps on this day is 4 sets of a cable or machine curl, but I'm really focusing on strict form here. I'm not trying to go super heavyweight, super intense. I'm just trying to flush a little bit of blood in that bicep, but I am keeping the form super strict and I'm getting hard contractions. I'm making the most out of all 4 sets. So that's gonna wrap up Tuesday. It's a very well-rounded back day. You're pretty much hitting everything from your lower back all the way to your traps, your lats, and then you're gonna go out to those rear delts, really give your delts that 3D look, and you're also gonna finish off with just a little bit of bicep work, knowing that we're gonna come back later in the week and work arms on their own. Wednesday is an off day. We really wanna emphasize recovery on these days, so there's no point in beating your head into the ground doing all these high intensity workouts if you're not giving your body a chance to actually grow and recover. So on these off days, you really want to emphasize trying to be lazy almost, trying to give your body every reason to recover and grow. If anything, what I'll do on my off days is just try to emphasize, going for like a 10-minute walk here or there, maybe getting my steps in. I may do some light core work. What I definitely do is try to stretch, because your body's going to be so tensed up. You want to try to release some of that tension that you've caused throughout the week so far. So again, use your off days to emphasize recovery, rest, so that your body can really grow. If you're finding this video helpful so far, subscribe to the channel. I have tons of videos on how you can incorporate good chest days, leg days. What I've laid out for you today is pretty generic workouts, but if you check out the channel, I got more detailed explanations of how to actually hit each body part. Next up on Thursday, we have our next appearance of the push-pull leg theme. So we're going push today, which means we're working our chest, shoulders, and triceps. And when I say shoulders, we're mainly going to focus on the side delt and the front delt. So our first chest exercise, we want to pick a machine that's going to let us get a good solid contraction, because we want to open up the day with getting our chest working. And to do that, we want to pick a machine that's going to let us converge our hands, push our hands together, and squeeze that chest. So we want about 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps of just a machine where we can get a good solid contraction. Next, we're going to move into an incline Smith machine or free weight press. This is the exercise week to week you want to try to get stronger on and improve on, so we can really build that chest. So we want a couple of feeder sets here, followed by 2 to 3 sets to failure. I usually tend to stay on 2 sets so I don't overdo it. After that, we're going to go into a stretching motion. We're going to do some kind of pec fly, whether it be a pec fly machine, cable fly, dumbbell fly, whatever variation you like the best. We're going to go into something to really open that fascia up, since we just hit it hard with the incline press. We're going to do a stretching motion for a fly. Then we're going to go into a high incline dumbbell press. And so I like to do these because it's going to incorporate a little bit of front delt, a little bit of chest. So you're gonna satisfy that need to shoulder press without actually having to do it. So you're gonna cover a press for your upper chest and your shoulder at once. You're really gonna kind of hit that upper shelf. And then we're gonna finish that day off with a superset of another fly variation and some kind of pressing movement. What I've been doing a lot of lately is dumbbell fly, superset with feet elevated push-ups. And you can do anything here, but I've been really feeling these lately because it's gonna satisfy that need to really overstretch your pecs and expand that fascia, but also give you a massive pump because you're supersetting everything. Next up, moving into shoulders, I'm gonna do 2 sets of a side lateral variation, whether it be cable, machine, dumbbell. And I'm also gonna do 2 sets of some kind of front raise, because again, we've already done a lot of pressing with our chest, getting those shoulders working. And then we're gonna move into triceps to finish those off. I'm gonna do 2 sets of some kind of extension to kind of get my triceps pre-fatigued before coming next. Really focus on getting a good squeeze here to get those triceps lit up. And then I'm gonna finish the day off with 2 sets of close grip bench. And I like to do close grip bench at the very end of this push day because it incorporates everything we've already been doing: chest, shoulders, triceps, to really trash everything at the end. But it's also gonna target those triceps a little harder because you've already pre-fatigued them on that extension. So it's really gonna finish those triceps off good too. So that's gonna wrap up Thursday for your push day. We got a good, well-rounded chest day there. We had some presses, some flies, we got some good contractions, everything you need to get that chest growing. Then we got a little bit of side delt and front delt working. Again, we're hitting your shoulders a couple times throughout the week, a little bit of volume throughout all those workouts, not a ton of volume, and then we're finishing off with some good tricep work. Friday, we're gonna hit what I call the posterior chain and leg day. So what I mean by that is we're coming back, we're doing about 9 sets of back. We're gonna do a good amount of hamstring and glute work. We're also gonna get a little bit of quad work. Your back and your legs are your 2 biggest muscle groups, so I feel like not only do they need more work, but they can actually handle a little more work to actually stimulate them to grow. So we're gonna start off the back training with something that's gonna really work your upper lats. And I've had people say, oh, you can't target your upper lats, but that's usually coming from guys who have not a ton of experience in bodybuilding to know that you can absolutely target your upper lat. So what I like to do here is a wide grip, super stretching motion on a pull down. So I'm gonna overstretch here, and I'm only gonna pull down to my mouth. And what this is gonna do is keep the tension on those upper lats without transferring everything down to my lower lats. So I'm gonna start there. Then I'm gonna move into a single arm cable row or dumbbell row. I kind of switch back and forth, just something where I can drop my elbow low and hit those lower lats. And then I'm gonna come to finish, I'm gonna come and do a rack pull. What rack pull does is, for me, it replaces deadlift, because deadlift, I just feel more in my legs than I do anything else. So rack pull is gonna let me really target everything from my lower back to my lats, all the way to my traps. It's really gonna hit my back and just crush it at the very end of this back day. And again, like I said, earlier in the week we did body weight lower back. This is why we wanted to do that, because we're gonna come back and really overload our back here. Now we're gonna get into our posterior chain and our legs. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with a seated leg curl, or whatever leg curl you didn't do earlier in the week. For me, it's been seated leg curl on this day. really getting good squeezes, good contractions, getting those hamstrings ready to work, and also pre-fatiguing them before we go into what's next, which is going to be a glute bridge, superset with feet elevated, Romanian deadlift with a kettlebell. This superset together is really going to get those glutes working, really crush those hamstrings, get that posterior chain ready to work. Now that we've hit our posterior chain really well with back, hamstrings, and glutes, let's get the quads a little extra work. So what we're doing here, we're going to do a leg extension, superset with a sissy squat. We're really going to blow those quads up here with some volume since we really overloaded our quads on Monday with a lot of high intensity, heavy weight. All we're going to do today is get them a little bit of a pump, get some blood in those quads. Now that everything's sufficiently warmed up, let's go into a feet high leg press. So what the feet high is going to do on this leg press, it's going to really let us, again, touch more into that posterior chain of the hamstrings and glutes. So we want the feet high, toes almost coming off the platform, and you want to emphasize coming down slow so that the hamstrings and glutes can take control of the work. And then you want to push through your heels to really make sure, again, the target's staying on the posterior chain. We're going to end this posterior chain / leg day with a single leg variation of like either a lunge, Bulgarian split squat, or for me, I like to do these on a machine, just something where you're working each leg individually and focus on getting deep range of motion, again, to recruit those glutes. We're gonna superset that with a little more calf work, because again, nobody wants skinny calves. That's gonna wrap up Friday. So again, we've come back and we've touched back again. We've touched legs with a lot more emphasis on the hamstrings and glutes. And again, I think the back and legs not only need that extra volume, but they absolutely can handle it as well. Now on to Saturday, the bro split is back. We're gonna do an arm day with a little bit of shoulder. So a lot of people seem to think that little bit of bicep and tricep work you did earlier in the week is enough for arms, and those are the same guys who probably don't have big arms. I absolutely believe you have to have a dedicated arm day if you want to have big arms. We're going to start out with doing some shoulders, and I like to do a superset for rear delts and a superset for side delts. So the rear delts, what I've been doing a lot lately of and feeling is that chest supported fly, and then going right into 30 band pull aparts. That's gonna light those rear delts up. And then after that, we're gonna move into our side lateral superset. And again, what I've been doing a lot of lately is a seated partial dumbbell lateral, and then I'm moving right into a dumbbell lateral standing. And again, that's just gonna really exhaust those shoulders and finish them off for the week, since we've already touched them up a little bit on Tuesday and Thursday. This Saturday workout is just enough to give them a little more volume to finish them off. Now we're moving into our arm day, and what we're doing here is we're supersetting our biceps and our triceps. I mean, we're just going back and forth. So we're only gonna count our rest breaks as how long it takes for the biceps to go. So once our biceps go, I'm doing triceps, and then once I come off that tricep movement, we're almost going right back into the biceps. Really gonna keep that blood and that arm and keep the tension up. So we're gonna start off with a cable press down movement for our triceps, and then we're gonna go into a cable curl movement for our biceps. That's our first exercise. Next, I like to do some kind of crusher variation. I don't like the barbell crusher, but I have been doing a lot of dumbbell crusher for my triceps, and then I'm moving into some kind of dumbbell or barbell curl for my biceps. Next up, for triceps, I'm gonna move into a seated dip machine. I'm gonna superset that with a one-arm preacher curl. If you don't have either one of these machines, you can do the seated, not the seated dip, a dip machine assisted, and you can do a one-arm dumbbell curl if you don't have either one of these machines. And then we're gonna finish the day off with a stretching variation for both. So for me, I like to do triceps, I like to do overhead extension, and then on biceps, I like to do a cable stretch curl. Really let those hands come behind my body and stretching those biceps up. That's all she wrote for Saturday. So again, we've already touched shoulders and arms throughout the week, just giving them a little bit of love after we did chest and back. This Saturday is just gonna be a dedicated shoulder and arm day to really blow those things up, get them to where you want them to be. Sunday, we have our second off day of the week, and just like Wednesday, we want to emphasize being lazy and letting our body recover and grow. So again, we want to emphasize stretching, maybe going for leisurely walks, maybe do a little bit of core work, anything you can do to not do anything super intense, because it's Sunday, and guess what Monday is? We're right back into that super intense leg workout, so we want to make sure we're rested, recovered, and ready to go. There you have it, guys. That's the most well-rounded split I've been able to come up with for the past 20 years of really pushing people's physiques to the next level. If you like this video, guys, and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. As always, stay swole.